Hi, welcome. This is Dr. John DeMartini. This is one of the most amazing and inspiring shows that you can listen into. If you want to be on the edge of your seats, if you want to open up your heart, if you want to expand your mind, and you want to meet incredible people, stay tuned because you're just about to experience a transformative radio show that will change your life. And you're listening to the Dr. Pat Show that's coming up right next.
The following audio is via a Skype call.
Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. Talk radio to thrive by. Powerful, inspiring, and coming to you live, bringing you stories of people like you and me busting through and living life full out. Get ready to dare to wonder what your life would be like if you knew you could not fail.
Hey, everybody, welcome. Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. Welcome to Transformation Talk Radio. Welcome from wherever you're listening from. I don't even know all the places, but I do hear from you. So I want to welcome you. I want to welcome you to the live presentation of today's show, as well as those that are subscribing and listening to the podcasts. You know, I'm really thrilled today to have, an old friend and colleague join me here today, Danielle Rama Hoffman, who the world knows as this ancient wisdom keeper, this scribe, this divine transmitter, and, someone in the world that has written books about the light. That's what I love about talking with her. Books about the light. She leads retreats in France. She's offering classes, mentoring. But the most important thing is that she brings a message in each of her writings and each of her teachings about a level of consciousness that is accessible and available to each and every one of us. But what is it about engaging in this multidimensional conversation? What is it that she does? And you'll hear who this conversation is with in a minute. What is it about that enables us to bring ancient wisdom to modern times? Today, whether you've worked with her, read her books, have talked with her directly, whether she's been a mentor to you, or whether this is a new introduction, open your hearts up for what does it mean for us today to access and engage in the tablets of light. Danielle, it's great to have you here. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on the show and for your support of the books and my work over the years. And, of course, my beloved Friedemann. I was waiting for the introduction. I may be known as Dr. Friedemann Shaw's wife, but that was nice.
Oh, that is so, it's so interesting, though. You're right about that. But, it's interesting that I think I knew you, though, first. I think I met you before I actually met him. So I don't have that sense of things so much about that. But you're right about that. I also know you as somebody that brings forth messages to the world in a timely manner, but a really relevant manner. And that's what I think today's book is about. Now, I know you didn't write this book yesterday. I know you wrote this book, a little bit back, but the message is relevant. And I wanted to ask you that. Let's talk about the tablets of light, and how the message came to you, who the message is from, and is it relevant for the time we live in?
Yes. So it's the Tablets of Light, the teachings of Thoth on unity consciousness, and the information really came through my divine partnership with Thoth, the Egyptian god of infinite knowledge, keeper of the Akashic records, scribe, healing, serving the goddess, and more ways to describe him. And really, it was divinely transmitted from my partnership with him. So the first transmission actually came in a few days before my 44th birthday, I got kind of the first tablet, and that the awareness was that it was something that I'd carried since being born in this lifetime, and yet it wasn't until that time that I became conscious of that. And I think when you talk about it being a relevant message for now, that really is a way of positioning that, of the sense that others also, that each of us may be carrying something or have a purpose that then gets awakened in a way that is pertinent and current to who it is that we've become.
Yeah. One of the things I want to really point to, and I love that we get to pronounce, Thought's name in several ways. I know it as Thought because I always thought about thought, like THOUGHT, thought, right? And so what happened to me was, that play on words, I didn't really put it together about a correct pronunciation, because in my mindset, I thought. And what I mean by that is elevating what we know about thought consciousness, as I like to call it, is really about energy. And in your book, you talk about streams of energy. And I'm really fixated. I'm fixated about a number of things in the book, Danielle, but I'm really fixated on this idea of streams of energy, because every day there is a new energy in the headlines. But what is it about this particular dialogue and what's come forth on this that's really different from plugging into the news today or not?
Yes. Well, the Tablets of Light really is an environment of energy and consciousness. And so it's like, sometimes I think about it like entering into a temple, and each tablet is an environment. And as we're in the environment of this multidimensional consciousness, then it provides the opportunity for us to also expand our awareness and to become aware that everything exists within each and every moment. And so we have the opportunity to draw our attention or focus our attention where it is that we would choose and on what it is that we would like. And then by steeping in the environment of divine partnership, or that eye-to-eye, peer-to-peer place of equanimity, because it really is a revolution in relationships where we recognize that there's nobody better than or worse than if we choose, that there's that sense of equality, then we also begin to become more aware of and awaken our divine or extraordinary capacities. So there really is that choice. And one of the things I love about the message and the shift from separation consciousness and lack and doubt and fear and those slower vibrational energies into unity consciousness of love and unity is that the separation consciousness, those slower vibrational energies, they have purpose, and it's not about trying to release them or get rid of them, yet from a buoyed state or from a more unified consciousness to include them into the oneness, into the wholeness, into the source from which it came, to really be rocket fuel for our evolution in consciousness. So it's also, how is it that we're being with the headlines and the news if someone's choosing to look at it, to rather than that affect, be it the affect of it, to use it as rocket fuel for our evolution.
Yeah, and let's talk about that for a minute in terms of, an energy of things and, a cycle of energy. We can choose to recognize, what our vision is in the world. And I think you say this beautifully in the book. I don't remember exactly where, but you talk about being able to recognize the vision we hold. And I also, when I read that part, I also thought about it as a witnessing of sorts. Are we witnessing through your writing? Are we being asked to become witnesses of unity consciousness?
Well, I would say really co-creators of unity consciousness. And, one of the parts in the book talks about an evolution in leadership and the shift from, thinking of a leader as one in a country or, the captain of a team, a small percentage, to recognizing that we all are leaders and co-creators. So to me, that it really is that co-creation, and in order for us to co-create that evolution in consciousness, it does require the innovative visions that we hold, the way that we can see the world that holds that possibility open so that it becomes an inevitability.
Mm-hmm. Danielle, I was really struck by a couple of different things that we're going to talk about in the book today. I was really struck by the part that you wrote, and I think it was where you're telling us, or Thoth is telling us, you are a key of evolution. You are a key of evolution. And I know sometimes that doesn't make sense to us. How could we possibly be a key? Little old me. How is it me? And I really do believe that there is a sense happening right now where me as an individual, I do not have that much power. Therefore, I am not really feeling empowered. Can you talk about this key that you reference in the book and what the call of action is for us?
Yes. Well, the key, and I love the image of the key as well, because there are the different grooves on it, and it fits into the lock, that we're keys and locks, and carry these codes that really open a bespoke world for us in relationship to our signature energy, in relationship to who it is that we are. So that awareness that everything's unfolding on purpose, and that we're positioned and positioning ourselves with those perfect people, places, and opportunities. So I think that's a big shift from tribal consciousness, and separation consciousness, which is really about surviving and fitting in and going under the radar, to recognizing that the more we are fully ourselves and stand out, that signature energy, that key, gets turned on, and then those bespoke experiences for us find us even more fluidly. So I think one of the calls to action is to shift from resisting whatever's happening to recognizing that there can be this inclusion as rocket fuel if it's something that's perceived as unpreferred, and then also to really be paying attention to what it is that is emerging in this bespoken kind of experience, and to stand out as who we are rather than that trying to fit in. And I know that can bring up a lot of the fear and that sense of like, well, if we really stand out, then we'll be persecuted or killed or lose love, and that's something that I've experienced as well. And yet there's that sense of really the choice. Are we going to do and be and have what we came here to be and do and have, or not? And for me, that's a yes. Yeah.
Well, let's take a short break. When we come back, we're going to taking this journey with Danielle, my very special guest today, Danielle Roma Hoffman, the Tablets of Life. When we come back, we're going to be taking a look at what this quantum consciousness means to us. And why do we call it that? Why do we take a look at this high vibrational energy and consciousness and now look at it as a quantum consciousness in a sense? What does it mean? And how do these channel teachings help us to activate these hidden keys? How does it help us to accelerate our own evolution? Stay tuned. We'll be right back. And when we come back, we'll tell you how you can get your copy of the book and much more. We'll be right back.
Transformation Talk Radio is dedicated to the education and awareness of Lyme disease.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Lyme Talk Radio. I'm Dr. Pat, joined here by
Dr. Nusheen Darvish.
Dr. Pat Basili and Dr. Nusheen Darvish will be bringing the most innovative, groundbreaking information, research, treatment innovations, and stories from those it affects every day.
I'm so excited to be talking about this.
We have so much to share.
Dr. Darvish and I are planning to do is connect the dots.
People suffering with all sorts of chronic diseases, it's time. It is time for them to transform.
Tune into Lyme Talk Radio and help keep our mission strong.
For the loyal listeners out there that have been listening to this incredible show on Lyme disease, we are not going to let you down. We're going to come through stronger and enrich the platform for Lyme disease awareness through Lyme Talk Radio. The message will continue, the conversations will become stronger, and the healing epic. Treat the Body and Expand the Soul on June 1st with Lynn Brown. In this all-inclusive retreat, you'll treat your body with breakout sessions in the various elements of nature. Enjoy fireside chats while harnessing the healing energy of fire. Allow more light with more ease and activate that connection between the body and spirit. Call 206-931-7356 or visit lynnmbrown.com.
Introducing the Lucid Planet, a digital gathering place featuring cutting-edge, high-vibrational content that will empower and inspire you to become the greatest version of yourself. Visit the Lucid Planet today to stimulate your mind, body, and soul as you connect with a global community of like-minded people. The Lucid Planet is edited by renowned psychologist and author Dr. Kelly Neff, who is here to help you cope with anxiety, connect to your higher purpose, uncover your true passions, and live your dreams. Dr. Kelly's fresh, compassionate perspective emphasizes growth, transformation, healing, and thriving, even in the face of adversity. Say goodbye to bad news and low vibrational media for good and become part of the larger collective of people working together to navigate the global shift of consciousness and transform the world from within. Join the planet, the Lucid Planet. Visit thelucidplanet.com. Welcome home.
Tune in to the Psychic Professors Show, The Voices of Spirit Radio, with international medium and spirit artist Dr. Susan Barnes on Transformation Talk Radio, featuring a variety of spiritual topics such as psychic art, spiritualism, EVP, psychic development, and mediumship. This hit call-in show provides listeners with breakthrough wisdom to enliven and enlighten their lives. Visit spiritartgallery.net for show days and times.
Hey, everybody, welcome back. I am so thrilled that today we get to help Danielle with the birthing process of the Tablets of Light. And, we're going to take a few minutes here, first of all, to tell you how you can get your copy of the book and some other goodies. And also, we're going to do something special in the show in a bit later. Danielle's going to tell you about that. First of all, how can folks find out more about the book? And then how can they find out more about working with you?
Yeah. So to get the book, you can go to tabletsoflight.com, and then there's a special Emerald swag bag when you buy the book on Amazon that includes a training with Thoth for the price of the book. So it's a really cool addition, accompanying material of 4 of the Tablets of Light. So that's at tabletsoflight.com. And it's really kind of a thoughtful, I've said thoughtful time, because I also have coming up a weekend with Thoth in Sedona, June 2nd through 4th, and then a year and a day video program that starts Thoth's Magic Academy on the summer solstice. So, someone can find out about that as well by going to the tabletsoflight.com, and my website's divinetransmissions.com as well, but there's a link from tabletsoflight.com.
I think that's exciting. And also, why don't we just tell our listeners what we're going to do a little bit later in the show that I think is super exciting?
Yeah, so I'd love to do a divine transmission with Thoth to give everyone an experience of the energy and frequency and vibration. And also, one of my areas of divine genius is to divinely transmit, and that's also what the book talks about, is that when we're each in our divine genius, that really does create an evolution in consciousness. So, yeah, I'm super excited
I'm
to
excited
offer
about
a
that
divine
too.
transmission. Mm-hmm.
I
And
know.
did you know
Benny,
that Isis and Thoth are really connected? Because I know you love Isis.
yes. I knew how, but I knew that they were, but I didn't understand fully how. Can you talk about that for a minute?
Yeah, sure. So really, one of the connections between Thoth and Isis and the way that it's most thought about is that there's this union between the two of them, and that Thoth is associated with really serving the goddess or contributing to the goddess, and in some ways of looking at it, like supported Isis in awakening her magic. And that's one of the things too that I notice when people hang out with Thoth, is that there really is that sense of awakening our genius. So yeah, they're really interconnected in a lot of different ways, and I know for some people too that to recognize that he's a lunar god, so that real lunar masculine energy, very, very vibey.
Yeah. And that's really an important aspect of it, because, when we think about energies and we think about lunar energies, if I might say this, I think these lunar energies have gotten a bad rap over time. There's something about the moon that people think about. And I'll tell you, one of the greatest things that I have going for me is that my moon's in Capricorn, even though I got 4 planets in Sagittarius, right? But here we are, we're talking about what I believe in your book, and what you've brought forth is some very important messages for the world. And I want to take a minute and talk about those. And of course, we're going to hear some of that directly later. One of this is talking about the tablets of light themselves and what they've come to mean, and what the underlying message and action is, Danielle, because I really do believe there is one, especially after reading your book.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and the emerald tablets are most known for as above, so below, as within, so without is the one that's most familiar, and that the book includes different tablets of light. So as I was kind of meditating on which one really was speaking to this particular, those that are tuning in, there really was this conversation about the divine infusion and being resourced in your divine genius. And another tablet of light is about your universal divine design, and another one's about your unique divine design. So that sense of really calibrating to our divine, and I love that word, divine transmissions is my business name, because it means source, and also extraordinary, that we get to be our extraordinary selves and create through light and frequency. So I do think that there is a call to action, and at the same time, it's really about being, that the tablets of light speak about our sovereignty with our internal environment and our frequency and vibration, and really coming from wholeness in our divine selves, so that then the external also follows that in terms of as above, so below, as within, so without. So that's a couple of the tablets of light, and another one that I love too is cosmic choice, that we really are choosing all the time, and that's something that I find is really underutilized, is our capacity to choose. For as we sometimes there can be that in the old paradigm of healing, that sense of releasing and clearing and releasing and clearing, and it's just this never-ending cycle. And yet if we choose, if we ignite our capacity to choose, that really shifts a lot of things easily and quickly in my experience.
Yeah, and what you're saying, I think, is really kind of, if I could just say, a very important key, because the process of releasing and clearing and releasing and clearing and releasing and clearing, it can be really daunting. And, what I love about this is there could be, and this is my language about after reading your book, there could be this transmutation, which doesn't feel hard. It doesn't feel like, oh, I got to do another one of those releasing and clearing things. And I think in the book, you talk about it, divine access point, I think that you say. Did I get that right? Divine access point. And in that divine access point, after, reading this, if I could be, in that shifting consciousness from the illusion of separation, I do not think I have to be doing a whole lot of releasing and all of that. I mean, tell me a little bit about this. I mean, is the key to the key this access point?
Yes, and that awareness, too, that as we go from thinking of ourselves as our body, our minds, our emotion, and kind of that three-dimensional way of living to more multidimensional living, or coming from our totality or the access point as divine beings of light incarnate as well, then there is that shift where we occupy more space. And that, to me, is the innovative aspect of it, that there's so many of the old systems that have broken down, and that those unpreferred experiences really are also existing in those slower dimensional vibrations. And so rather than continuing to focus on those slower vibrational dimensions, as we open up and occupy more of our full selves, more of our multidimensional selves, then what those issues or those problems were, it's not that there's the stopping of looking at them, because it is important to include them into the wholeness. Yet usually if we're choosing to actualize, for example, money or health or love or our career, that those actualizations of those vibrations exist in a higher vibration than the slower vibration. So I think it's also a real pivot in consciousness to be looking at it in a different way, and then to be, again, accessing our consciousness in a way that may even be new to us, that co-creating of a evolution in consciousness from the innovative, from what we each have within us, that it's not about just doing what everyone else is doing, yet really finding that uniqueness within and living our unique divine design, or our unique purpose, our divine genius.
Before we go to break, because I know that when we come back, we're going to do something very, very special here on the show. Again, please tell folks how they might get a copy of your book, as well as find out more about you. And then, in your own words, tell folks what they can expect when we come back.
Yes, so going to tabletsoflight.com to buy the book on Amazon and receive an emerald swag bag, bonuses of a training with Thoth for the price of the book. And that when we come back, we're going to do a direct divine transmission with Thoth and experience the vibration and frequency directly, because I think it's an environment. So it's one thing to talk about this book, yet if someone enters into the book from the mind, it can be quite frustrating. So to have the whole body experience, we'll have a whole body experience when we come back.
Wow, I love it. Let's take a short break, everyone. When we come back, we'll be back talking more directly with Thoth as well as Danielle. We'll be right back on the Dr. Pat Show. Tune in to the hit show Mouthing Off with Chef Rossi. Chef Rossi mouths off about different subjects in pursuit of breaking down walls and opening up your minds. She and Dr. Pat banter back and forth, taking from the headlines of the day on subjects that reach beyond what goes on in the world into your hearts. And go to theragingskillet.com to find out more and let Chef Rossi know what's on your mind.
Wow. Hey, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. This is Talk Radio to Thrive By. I'm telling you, I got to pinch myself some days, because when each of us gets called to do something that we so not thought was in our wheelhouse to do for a purpose that's so much greater than us, we get to show up and shine.
If you would like to show up and shine on the Dr. Pat Show as a co-host or sponsor, send us an email to inspire@thedrpatshow.com.
Brand consultant Jen Morgan is here with Radically Distinct Radio to help you take control of your future and maximize your brand's power to produce results. Whether you're an individual trying to reinvent yourself and launch a new venture, or you're an executive trying to reposition your company to modernize your sales and marketing programs, Jen Morgan and the RAD Method empower you to play to your strengths and show up in the world as your most powerful brand. To learn more, go to jenmorgan.com. That's Jen with 2 N's, Morgan.com, or call 206-972-5366.
The Earth is an ever-changing being. Goddess Light Shamanic Healer Bree Gibbs guides us through the ascending worlds, bringing forth knowledge and truth. As a light creator, she is here to provide new information needed at this time in our evolution. Join Bree as she shares messages from guides, spirits, ascended masters, goddesses, and others. Tune in the second and fourth Monday, 11 a.m. Pacific, and Thursdays, 1 p.m. Pacific for Silver Gaia Radio.
Have you wanted to make more money without working harder or more? Maybe you've tried new ways to bring in extra income without success. Hi, my name is Deb Acker, and in addition to being the host of Truth Talk Radio, I'm an intuitive life coach and energy healer. I clear energy blocks to all areas of life, including abundance. Did you know many times we have an invisible income ceiling? So no matter what we do, our income never goes up, or if our income does go up, we experience an unexpected expense that negates this. How much would it be worth to significantly increase your income or even have unexpected income show up? When I was in the corporate world, I used these techniques to increase my income by tens of thousands of dollars without changing my work routine. In fact, I worked even less, and I now help clients do the same. If this resonates for you and you're truly ready for abundance in your life, I'd love to gift you with my pattern identification session. Simply contact me on the contact page of my website, DeborahAcker.com. That's DeborahAcker.com. And let me know you heard about this gift through Transformation Talk Radio. I look forward to connecting soon.
Welcome back, everyone. And I am so thrilled I get to talk with Danielle Roma Hoffman, because guess what? She's got a fabulous new book, just came out, The Tablets of Light. And, for today, we not only get to talk with her, but Danielle, we are going to do something extraordinary right now. Let our listeners know what they're about to experience. And, wow, off we go.
Yes. So the opportunity to experience a direct divine transmission from Thoth, to have a firsthand experience of what the Tablets of Light and the energy environment is. So in a moment, I'll just tune in and invite Thoth in and invite everyone to tune into your signature energy, that which makes you uniquely you, and just to ask to receive what's yours to be, do, and have, nothing more and nothing less. So I'm excited. Here we go. And this is Thoth that is moving more into the forefront of this divine transmission, and it is a joy to be co-creating this extraordinary conversation together through multidimensional communication. And multidimensional communication is also spoken about in the Tablets of Light book as the way that we communicate multidimensionally, meaning that there is the verbal communication and then also the communication that happens on a vibrational level, that you each are communicating on the vibrational level throughout all time and space. So even though it may seem as if the verbal conversation is happening from us, there's the awareness that it actually is being co-created based on what it is that you're asking for, based on what it is that you are streaming through. So multidimensional communication is also one of the universal divine capacities that you each have that when utilized in an even more focused way of creating through light and frequency can create a quantum shift in consciousness. So the Tablets of Light really is entering into divine partnership with yourself as a being of light and as that spaciousness of eye-to-eye, peer-to-peer, divine-to-divine for the awakening of you as your full and fully realized and conscious self. So there are a lot of questions that are also streaming through as this divine transmission is beginning. And one really has to do with love. So we're doing a bit of a body reading of the group that's tuning in, and the Council of Light is also present as well. And so there are lots of questions about love and what is love and how to find love and how to have more love, and this sense of really also at times feeling isolated or feeling misunderstood. And that as you each are leaders in the evolution and consciousness, there can be that sense of when you're on the leading wave that you can have a sensation of being different, like different, feeling different than everyone around you, and then that creating a sense of loneliness or creating a sense of isolation. And that really what it is that this next wave of consciousness is about, or unity consciousness is about the difference of you being what matters, standing out, really shining, really being who you are full out. And when you do that, then there's more of you available to then connect with others and to have that sense of love. So sometimes that which is the biggest fear that you may have can be what you create in your environment, so that then you have the experience of it really not being something that takes you out of the game. So, for example, if you have a fear of not being loved or a fear of being alone, then it's like you can create your life experience so that you're feeling those sensations. And yet that is also part of the illusion, and that having a relationship with yourself and entering into that divine partnership with yourself can also ameliorate, that can also have that sensation be one where that sense of isolation starts happening, and that's all, stops happening, and that's also what the separation consciousness is about. So anywhere that you are separate from yourself, there's the invitation while we're together to include that into the ring of inclusion, which is one of the Tablets of Light, to include that into the evolutionary hologram, which is one of the Tablets of Light, that you can go into any part of your incarnation to access the whole. So that is the opening invitation and transmission, and we're delighted to interact with you Pat, and any questions that you may have, or comments or reflections, or opening the lines as well to have this back and forth direct interaction.
Thank you. It's wonderful to meet you and connect with you. I am really struck by one of many messages that seem to be an invitation in what's been brought forth, and that is, talking about this rocket full of rocket fuel, and that each of us, has that same potency, power, and force within us, to transcend anything which seems unable to be transcended. And I'm really struck by this because so often, I know for myself and many of us, we are filled with doubt. We're filled with beliefs that might say, wait a minute, we don't have what it takes. We cannot make this happen. And, it so forth goes on. And I want to ask you, how do we stay with that knowledge, that transcendence, that idea that you're presenting, so that we can tap into that unlimited potential within us?
Yes, beautiful. Well, there is the divine partnering that we've spoken about, and this revolution in relationships, and this shift from separation consciousness, where there has been the experience of power under or power over, or the experience that it's necessary to have an intercessor, that someone outside of you knows better for you than you know for yourself. So we begin the entrance into the tablets of light upon the foundation of eye-to-eye, peer-to-peer, being of light to being of light, and that there isn't this giving away of the power, that our conversation happens from what we like to call that 50-yard line, or from the altar of the heart. And by being together, then there's that experience of what it's really like to be standing and to be accessing that full potency. And the tablets of light provides this energy environment where there is that wholeness that then begins to be recognized. So sometimes what can happen, and what you've just described in your question and in your reflection, is that this echo of the power under, power over happens within your relationship with yourself, that there can be that sense where a part is very potent and moving forward and sharing your gifts and talents, and then another part then has the fear and the doubt, and like this conflict, or one foot on the gas and one foot on the brake. And to really be bringing those, including those, welcoming those back into the wholeness, back in the oneness, back into the source from which it came. And that, as what was spoken about in the last segment briefly, there is this cosmic choice. And so sometimes it's about making the choice that you're going to shift your relationship with yourself to be coming from that place of equality and reclaiming the power and the potency. And also knowing that that can be a part of the process, that as you expand, as you come into greater potency, that it can be natural for those slower vibrations to come up, to be included into the wholeness, to be included into the oneness, that there's that sense of the doubt. And so as you get to know your own territory and your flavor of how that comes up, what that belief is or what that sensation is, then it's like you know it's going to be there, and then just to continue on, recognize it, acknowledge it, yet to keep the energy in motion, to keep flowing in the direction of really sharing what it is that you came here to be and do and have, nothing more, nothing less. So in the book, there's lots of analogies that are shared about how to really be stepping into this even more fully. And one of those is about vibrational proximity, that as you're in vibrational proximity to what it is that you're choosing, then it's like everything else sits down. So, for example, if you're going into a stadium of 10,000 individuals and you're looking for somebody with a yellow shirt on, and as you walk into the stadium, it's like everyone who's not that yellow shirt sits down, and the one that has the yellow shirt on stands up, and the camera zooms in on their seat number, and there's really this laser-like vibrational proximity that happens as you are the key that unlocks your bespoke environment for you. So we'd invite you to make a choice right now, if you choose, knowing that it's based on your free will and your conscious choice, and you can decide it in the moment or you can play with it. And that choice is really, are you choosing to be, do, and have what's yours to be, do, and have, nothing more and nothing less, based on your signature energy, your unique vibration, or not? And if it's a yes, then you can just say within your mind's eye, yes. And if it's a yes and a no, then you may also take some time to unpack that a little bit more. And that the yes, if it's your yes, may also be allowing in that which you've been asking for that hasn't actualized yet. That sometimes there can also be that allergy or that repelling of what's yours to be and do and have, because if you have more abundance or more love or whatever those things are, then in the past that was perceived and somehow as being dangerous, that you could lose love, that you could be persecuted, that someone could try to attack you for the abundance or whatever those things are. So anywhere that you may not have allowed yourself to experience the love that's yours to be, do, and have, this choice is that choice to experience it now. Anywhere that you may not have actualized or experienced the abundance, the health, the love. It's like the love is really, as we look at in each of you and what you're transmitting, this love is what is so much desired, and love is the space of inclusion.
Well, thank you. Sarah has asked a question, and I wanted to, bring that forth. And the question from Sarah is, the contribution. What was the real contribution of Isis and Osiris in ancient times?
Yes. Beautiful question. So there's so many multidimensional layers, and really the love of inclusion, the love of remembering, the love of what it is that we're speaking of here, of taking that which is perceived as separate, as Osiris was dismembered into 14 different parts, and this is spoken about more in the Temples of Light book, that the temples that Isis built along the Nile, everywhere that she found a part of Osiris, is like this path of remembering, this path of awakening. And as you each incarnated into separation consciousness, it was like incarnating in separation. And then this journey in your incarnation is the remembering, coming back into wholeness. So what it is that Isis and Osiris catalyzed is really what it is that we're speaking about as well in the Tablets of Light, the return of divine wholeness through love.
Well, thank you so much. I do want to ask you one last question. I know we have a few minutes left. Many people feel like as time goes on that they've used up their usefulness to change the planet, to create a better life, to move past anger and repression. What do you say about time?
Yes, well, we speak about quantum consciousness as well, and that the evolution of time from being what had been experienced as linear, a past, present, future, to really being all in the now moment, or the tablet of light that is the evolution hologram that you can go into any aspect of your life to access the wholeness. And so there is this collapsing of time and what is perceived as this acceleration of time to really be in that quantum awareness, that now moment, now moment, now moment, now moment, now moment. And that shift is also an example of really becoming more multidimensional, that you're experiencing yourself throughout all time and space in a now moment. So there's the awareness as well of being able to tune into and expand time, so that it's a little bit like how it's spoken about that the DNA or the mind, there's only a small percentage of the mind that's utilized, or a small percentage of the DNA that's utilized, and experiencing the shift from linear time to quantum time is like tapping into the unutilized resources of multidimensional now moment. And the way to do that is becoming current with who it is that you've become. So as we complete, we'd invite you to really call upon the ring of inclusion to become current with who it is that you've become. You're not who you were a minute ago or 10 minutes ago or last year. To be current with who it is that you've become full out as the currency of this evolution in consciousness. All is light in you. We are all.
Wow. Thank you so very much, and thank you for bringing forth this message.
Yes. Well, that was fun. This is Danielle moving back forward.
That was very fun, Danielle. Thank you so much. Many, many questions, especially our listeners sending us text messages to ask. And there's so much more in the book, and I want to thank you and congratulate you on what you've brought forth. Clearly, for people right now, there is an imbalance, disruption, anger, whatever you want to say, energy, especially around some of the things that we see happening in this country. And I think it's important to find a way to transcend that. And I think that's what your message was today. And I think that's what the book helps with, isn't it?
Yes, to really be in unity consciousness and see all that there is in each and every moment. Yeah.
Well, thank you for today. Would you please again let everyone know how they can get a copy of the book and about what all the goodies might be that they'll be getting with that, and also how to find out more about you?
Yes. So you can get the book at tabletsoflight.com. And then when you order your copy on Amazon, you get an Emerald Tablet swag bag that comes with it, which is another way for those of you who have had questions that didn't get answered to have a direct training with Thoth. So the swag bag includes also 2 live conversations, as well as a Emerald Tablets meditation and a written transmission, and also a video. And then, people can find out about me as well from tabletsoflight.com.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Danielle, one last question. We've talked about quite a bit, and certainly there's much more in the book. What's your personal message? What would you like to leave us all with today?
That we are leaders in the evolution in consciousness, and to be our unique, wacky, weird selves. The difference of us is what matters. So inviting everyone to awaken to the brilliance and your divine genius, and to be spending more and more moments in your genius.
Wow, thank you so much. Danielle Rama Hoffman, everyone. The book is The Tablets of Light. And stay tuned. You know, we have another hour coming up on Transformation Talk Radio.
The preceding audio was via a Skype call.